Welcome back to the Squadcast. It's still weird to say.
Yep. Nope. We still need a little bit more time with that. That
Yeah,
that
we'll,
strange
we'll get it
terminology.
figured out.
It's not the Squawk cast, so that's good. It's
Well, that
yeah,
would be a ham radio
that's true. That's
You,
right.
podcast, right?
you should probably try some old English. Welcome ye back to ye old Squadcast.
Oh,
Maybe.
so we're gonna do the pod. We're doing the podcast the way they did it back in medieval
Exactly.
times. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean,
I mean, we you get basically three guys sitting on a roof yelling at the crowd, and only one or two people actually paying attention. That sounds about right.
yeah.
Well, makes me sound that's a little sad, but mostly because it hurts. Because it's probably
Because
right.
it's true. How
Uh,
you guys doing?
Pretty
What a
good.
wonderful day it is.
Oh, really? It's a
Yeah, why
wonderful
not?
day.
Well, somebody's got it. Statistically, not it can't be a crappy day for everybody.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah,
one
there's nothing
one
wrong
out
with
of one out of three squadcasters thinks it was a great day.
it. Yeah.
It was a fine day. It wasn't great. It wasn't like awesome or anything like that. It was fine.
It's a great day to be alive.
That's true.
To quote, what's his name? Craig, the best late show host ever.
Oh,
And I can't now. Why can't I think of his name?
because now you need to think of his name. Now,
Yeah, I
because
know
you
he
can't
was
think of
on
his
after Letterman.
Yeah, he's still on.
No,
No, Craig. You're thinking. Oh, I'm thinking somebody else. That's
yeah,
fine.
he got and it was because oh
He was a little controversial, wasn't he?
no,
Ferguson?
well he's Scottish, so he's
Well,
funny.
Yeah. Craig Ferguson.
Yeah, Craig Ferguson. Most people would know him as Mr. Wick from the Drew Carey show. He was the boss. But no, he was when he was doing the show, it was freaking amazing. It was like one of the only times I religiously watched talk late show whatever. I
Right.
TiVoed it every day. And
Oh,
sometimes I would
that puts a
catch
date
up
to it.
by watching multiple episodes in a row. I was even in it's the only TV show that I've ever gotten or was into it enough that I got tickets to be in the audience.
Oh, you went.
Twice.
Cool. Very
And
cool, sir.
so much fun. So
That's cool.
great day to be alive, everybody.
Yeah,
Great or a great day for America. There it was. Great. It's a great day for America.
Okay. If you can find an entertainer that tickles your funny bone and makes you feel good, great for you. Good for you. I never was really into him. I saw his stuff sometimes. I felt like he was like a little bombastic, which is fine. Nothing really was, but then I wasn't into a lot of that late night stuff.
I think I was the same way at first. When I heard he had taken over that show, I went, okay. And then it took a couple years later, I caught some of it and went, wait, this is really good. And then I watched more and I realized this is one of the greatest things. Okay. Why isn't everybody watching this?
So what happened? Did he retire? Did they kick him out?
No, I think he got to a point where he's just like, I don't want to do it anymore.
Okay.
I think. I don't know.
That's the best way for something to stop. Is for when the creator's like, I'm done.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a good way to go.
And
better than being forced into doing it again for eons.
Because he was great with the he had that skeleton sidekick that Grant Imahara made for him, and and it would say terrible things.
Okay.
It was like a robot because Granny Mahara is like the robot guy.
Right. Oh yeah.
Or was, I guess.
Yeah.
And then there was notable that movie Secretariat came out. One time they brought out this like terrible fake horse with people inside of it, and it danced. Like think of a horse costume with where
Okay.
you get two people.
Sorry, I had a whole Trojan horse image in my head. I'm
No,
sorry. Horse
and
with
then
people in it.
but it became a running gag that anytime they'd he'd ring the doorbell, and then Secretariat would run out. And apparently, and it was just like it just do it anyway. Like, so they basically those poor horse people in the horse costume had to be on standby all the time just in case.
That's stupid. So just imagine them off stage. One half of a horse you see a head, the other half of the horse you see the horse's hindquarters. When you see it, but somebody has like a drink they're trying to keep hydrated, and the horse's head is having to move through the mouth. But they're already ready to go, and then they hear the ding dong. Oh, get together, go! Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Bust through the door and come out and dance.
Uh.
Yeah, the show was great.
Okay, I'll take your word. I'll check it out. I'm sure there are clips.
Oh
of it
yeah,
on
there
YouTube.
are clips.
I'll check it out.
What's up with you guys?
I'm staying up too late working and falling asleep and then waking up way too early in the morning and realizing I should probably go to bed. I'm laying.
You need a
sitting in my
job
chair.
where you can sleep so that you can dedicate your awake time to stuff that matters, like your hobbies.
I agree. That's what I need.
Yeah.
What are good jobs for that?
Independently wealthy.
Ooh, that's an excellent job.
That's an excellent job.
I
No,
think that's an excellent.
no,
idea.
there are. I'm pretty sure there are jobs where they'll pay you to let them watch you sleep.
Wait a second. Did you say internet billionaire? Is that what you said?
Just billionaire.
Oh, just billionaire. Just not
It
doesn't have to be internet.
doesn't have to come from
Yeah,
me.
it doesn't matter where you get it. Although where you get your money may affect how well you sleep.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
if you make your billions off of like the backs of people that are like harvesting blood diamonds,
Yeah.
some cruel individuals can sleep just fine because of that.
but like I said, it may.
May. Word may is wonderful.
Mostly when that is your source of financial well-being. The problem isn't as much about your conscience as it is about the other people trying to kill you to take over your
Well, there's that too.
criminal
Sleep with one eye open.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of sleep. You don't get a lot of quality sleep when you've got one eye open.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I suggest that for the benefit of your sleep, you choose to not go into a career of supervillainy.
Jeff
come on.
Bezos's personal head polisher.
I
You can sleep while you're doing that?
think that one would probably be a highly demanding job.
Oh, I was on the becoming a independently wealthy.
Gotcha. Okay. The track to becoming. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. No. I was thinking more like, I think I should be a mattress tester.
Yeah.
Well, there are like I said, there are like studies, like scientific
Exactly.
studies that will pay people to watch you sleep. Just get
Okay.
a full-time job where you come in every night and when you're ready to go to bed, and then you go home in the morning when you wake up, and then
I would excel at that job.
Me
man.
too. That's like my dream job, except I would fill the positions that they're probably most or have the most difficulty staffing, which is people that sleep during the day. I prefer to sleep when the sun comes up.
Yeah.
And
I also like I fastest to sleep. That would be my specialty
I get
skill.
the best sleep between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. That's when I get the most, like, where you wake up and you go, "Ooh, I feel good."
No, I like to fall asleep. My rhythm has currently been um get home, get sleepy around dinner time, wake up myself, give myself like a second wind, get up, stay awake way too late. It's usually till like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and then go to bed. But then I have to get up at 6.
To quote
That's not much sleep.
the philosopher Gloria Estefan,
Hmm.
the rhythm is gonna get you.
Ooh, is that the rhythm? Is the rhythm of the night?
It's just the rhythm is gonna
Okay.
get you.
It's gonna get you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Or is it the rhythm of the saints? I'm just curious. That's Paul Simon. No.
I don't know.
No. Hey, so we got some news.
Mm.
Couple stories. This one, Clyde, you brought up. This is a new device that's come out. It's called a what is this thing
Space
called?
Top.
Yeah.
I think the name is dumb. I think it's
Well,
very. I don't like the name. What? Because it you know, this is the age of space
I'm gonna
tourism.
fill
You need a
Jimmy's on vacation.
laptop for
So
your space tourism. For the 30 seconds that you're going to spend weightless, you need a laptop.
that's
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's not the purpose, but I mean, that's what I think when I hear space top.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll fill Jimmy's part here since he's on vacation.
yeah, so
They're gonna make hundreds of dollars.
well, no, I think they're gonna do okay, considering each one of these is $2,000. They just need to sell like 5 of them, and they probably met their Kickstarter budget.
Did you read the about page?
I did not. But here, let me preface this real quick.
Okay.
So for the people that have no idea what we're talking about right now, over the years, we have talked about pretty much every VR thing that has kind of emerged or has been announced or, whatever. This is a new foray into the VR space, but to Jimmy's delight, it is actually an AR laptop. So you have a traditional laptop keyboard unit, but with no screen. There are glasses that go on your face, and then you have your workspace. I think it's at 100-inch screen in front of you, but it's AR, so you can still see what's going on around you. And the concept is cool.
This is exactly the kind of thing Jimmy said he wanted.
Exactly.
He wanted to have that monitor and to be able to look to his right and see his virtual second monitor. And so
yep, which theoretically you could possibly do. Except I don't think he wants to be tethered to this device because this is the laptop.
Right.
He wants something that he can use, on his PC or his Mac. A Mac is a personal computer. It is a PC. Now keep your hate mail.
What's a computer?
It is.
Yeah. The idea of it being a laptop is an interesting one because for those that haven't seen this, it is basically the bottom of a laptop, sans monitor, but with a little place to set AR glasses. And
so basically imagine a laptop or a portable version of the Commodore PC. Or an Apple IIe. Just you can put it in your backpack.
Another thing about it is that it supposedly provides the equivalent of a 100-inch screen view.
Yeah. So This is something that I would be interested in for watching movies. As I've said many times, my dream is I want a VR or AR device that lets me watch big screen movies on an airplane.
Mm-hmm. This would
And
do it.
VR glasses have always been problematic because it blocks you out from the world and you don't know what's going on around you. And that can be kind of jarring. Whereas this, theoretically, could work. But my question comes in, what is the hardware?
Right.
Because
There's
that's
no
the thing
information
that'll
here
really
about that.
kill this.
Yeah.
So, two things. One, multiple things. Let's start with this. It's the fact that it's actually in a laptop shape. If you take that front page, so if you go to if you want to check this out, it's sightful.com, sightful.com. And if you just scroll all the way to the top of the page, it shows that it actually closes kind of like a clamshell, but it's kind of like a soft top clamshell, so it kind of folds up to expose the glasses on top there. And so it then it shows that it's the virtual screen that you can see. It shows that it's only you can see the screen, so it's privacy. It's supposed to be a 100-inch screen in your backpack. That's nice. And also that it's got a 5+ hours battery life, which that's okay, I suppose. It's $2,000. We don't know about the specs. That's interesting. When we were getting ready for the show, we could hear Mike listening to the video. At which point, Clyde and I were going, "Is that an inspirational speaker?"
I thought it was like
sounds
Tony Robbins
exactly.
or something like
sounded
that.
like somebody was like, "You can make it in your life if you have your experiences and your dreams. You can do anything." The space top laptop. I'm like,
And then went,
okay.
oh, I never
So
watched the video. I just read it.
My so two things as well. So first of all, when I heard that, I didn't think of Tony Robbins. I thought of cult leader.
Well, Tony Robbins is literally a cult leader.
Yeah. So that may be fair. Okay. Now,
And I
second of
wasn't
all,
saying it was exactly Tony Robbins. I meant more of a Tony Robbins type. So
Yeah.
cult leader is right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you look at the About Us page, the two key executives that started this company, it gives you a little bit of insight into whether or not you probably want to order your product right now and put the money down right away.
Are they from that? What was that?
Magically.
Oh,
They're
no.
both from Magically.
Oh,
okay.
no.
So you look at the video and it shows these amazing looking views, just like Magic
God,
did.
it's vaporware. This is vaporware.
Yeah. I mean, it looks amazing, but what we found with augmented reality glasses that I've seen and used in the past,
It's always super small.
that your actual view tends to be very small. And also, it doesn't have a high enough level of opacity in the screen that it is really usable like the way they present it. So they present it in the imagery, it is like a workspace. It is all your monitors spread out over 100-inch space.
Yeah.
And you can have all your windows and everything, and it's really easy. But that only works if it's really readable. Obviously, you can't function as a worker if you can't really read stuff. And what I've seen in the Microsoft HoloLens and the Google Glass is that the ability to read fine print is difficult. Large screen, large print, large words against a high contrast background is readable, but that high contrast is really important because you also are not just contrasting the two colors that are in front of you, you're also contrasting what's behind that in the real world.
And that is the exact reason that when people do PowerPoint presentations on a very large screen, there's usually only like 5 or 6 words on that
Right.
because it has to be big enough that you can read it from anywhere. It's not like video where and that's why I was saying something like this appeals to me for video purposes.
Mhm.
Watching a movie on what appears to be 100-inch screen, um, yeah, video looks fine when it's really small. It looks big, or it's fine when it's really big. Yeah, but
As
I
long
can't
as
see the usefulness of this as a actual workspace.
Yeah, we've seen some AR glasses that are fully blocking the background that look
Model
good for
15.
movies, like the one by Royal,
Oh yeah,
and stuff. So we've seen that, but again, even for video, you lose a lot of that detail because you have that some amount level of transparency, and so it's really problematic. I don't know that I haven't seen anything that's got a good solution for that.
So if I were to look into doing this today, and VR has always been something of interest to me.
Mhm.
The only VR I've really dealt with personally is the stuff from Google when they did the Google Lens stuff,
I
because it
really
was
like the Vive. I
I
found it very intuitive.
if I were to try something today, I would buy what used to be called Nreal. They had to change their name now. They're now Xreal.
Mm.
They're $379 on Amazon right now, and it is and I've seen enough reviews to say this isn't magic, but it's good. And so it's a dual 1080p displays. That's
Mhm.
the micro LED OLEDs from Sony, one for each eye. So it's not going to be amazing, but 1080p is not too bad. I'm looking at you guys in a 1080p display, so it's not
Yeah.
bad. So and it's got a magnetic thing you can clip to the front of the glasses to block if you wish. Take it off if you want the AR experience to see through. It doesn't have any kind of tracking built into it, except for some head tracking. Apparently, it does do that. So when you look at a screen, it stays in space. It doesn't make you sick. You choose between it being fixed or not, or tracking. So, but no controller tracking. But I don't want that necessarily. And for that price, and also it'll hook up to a phone, it'll hook up to an HDMI source, so you can play video games on this thing
Mhm.
or watch your movie on your plane. That's because it's lightweight. These are almost as lightweight as pretty standard sunglasses.
They're $400,
And yeah, and
which
because
is affordable. But they have one major feature that you haven't mentioned.
what's that?
They are an actual product that is actually for sale at this point. It's not vaporware
No.
like this thing from the Magic Leap people.
Yes. So I would try this first if I were to try something nowadays. This is kind of the thing I'm looking at going. Also because it'll take my prescription lenses, which is good because I wear glasses.
So I have thought of, although for the space top, I have thought of the perfect application where this thing is desperately needed and would be perfect.
Okay.
Libraries. So when
For
people come in and watch porn on the PC, not everybody else in the library has to see that porn.
Dude, there's we have a policy: hands on the table while you're using the computer. Hands
Yeah.
on the table.
But it
Yeah.
still doesn't
So-
stop them from watching.
I know.
I mean, and that brings up a point of like conceivable value for the business user, right? The idea that I can work on whatever I need to work on and nobody else can see it at all, right?
Mm.
Um,
But if this is a business laptop, it's likely going to be added to the business domain and monitoring tools and stuff. So then you would have all the same
yeah,
restrictions.
you don't. Again, I'm not implying the porn side of it. I'm implying that confidential
I thought
business
you were
doc-
talking about watching porn during like meetings.
No, I'm talking about like being
Yeah,
at the
that'll happen.
airport
Oh,
and
okay.
having and working on confidential documents,
Gotcha,
right?
gotcha.
I can do that now because you can't see my screen at all.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean, there's been those like privacy things
Exactly.
forever, and they're always terrible.
They're
They-
always terrible.
They,
They
make
make it
it
hard for
they're
you to
harder to use than the benefit. So
Right. So this would be an alternative to that that's actually even more effective because even somebody that's right over your shoulder still couldn't see it. Right.
you know what is currently available and will cost you probably about $20 and give you all the privacy?
Hmm.
A blanket.
A
You just
blanket.
throw a blanket over your head when you're working on the confidential stuff.
Yeah. Nobody will think
Hey,
that's
you
weird.
probably already got one laying around.
Yeah, I got extras.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. I mean, there's arguments that you can make for it, but in my opinion, I don't see a big audience for.
I was kind of rooting for them until I heard Magic Leap people.
Yeah.
Now I know it's just vaporware. Those poor, even if these guys are legit, the fact that they were involved with Magic Leap is never going to leave. That stink is going to follow them to their graves.
Yeah. I yeah, I mean, I just, like I said, I don't see a real customer base for this. The majority of business work is done in a relatively secure environment. The even though you would still be able to theoretically see what's going on beyond you, I think most people would feel uncomfortable using these in a public space, like at an airport, and greatly limiting your awareness of what's around you.
They said the same thing about AirPods when they first came out, and then everybody had them. Once everybody had them, it was like, oh, yeah, whatever. The people that
Yeah,
keep them in
I
all
mean,
day, every day.
I think that there's a significant difference between cutting off one of your senses and cutting off multiple of your senses.
Well, you're not necessarily cutting off the audio if you're working on.
You don't have to, but I
Yeah.
mean, most people listen to music and stuff while they're at the airport waiting. So
I pretend to be listening to music, and I listen to the people talking because they think I'm listening to music.
yeah. To your point, it doesn't really even matter if there is an audience. I'm not seeing this as being a high probability delivery.
There's not enough pizzazz wow factor at this point for this to really catch on. This is going to be a product that fizzles, unfortunately. I think, unless they were able to say, and now it's $1,000, and then later say, now it's $750, and then now it's $500, and get
How much have you heard about the HoloLens succeeding? How many companies?
All I hear is that the U.S. government keeps telling them no. That's all I keep hearing.
I mean, and that's my point. This is very similar to the Microsoft HoloLens. It's a little less expensive, but we don't have any idea how powerful it is. Yeah. We know that the HoloLens is a relatively powerful device that is self-contained. Mm-hmm. So you are not carrying around a laptop with that device, which that seems to have a bigger place in the market to me than something that's a laptop with glasses, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
So should we move on?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. Hey, guys, did you know that Prime Day is coming up? That's right. We have Prime Day coming up.
Again?
I just bought a bunch of stuff on Prime Day. What do you mean? How could it be coming up? It's once a year, right?
3/14, right? That's Prime Day.
No, that's Pi Day. But
yeah,
is it Pi Day?
Wait, you're right. I don't know. Pi, Prime, same thing, right?
Pi is Prime. You're right. I think
Pi is not Prime.
I don't know. We've established many times I don't math. Okay, moving
on. Pi is
an
irrational number.
Oh, that's what it is. Amazon is holding its Prime Big Deals Days on October 10th and 11th. Yeah, you're right. We did have Prime Day recently.
Yeah, so when you do this like every couple weeks, it kind of It's like that store that's been going out of business for 20 years.
Well, they still have
Or
great sales, right?
you, maybe.
July 11th and 12th. I bought some stuff on Prime Day in order to get ready for my Europe trip.
Oh,
So Prime Day was 2 days. It was the 11th and 12th.
yeah, that's always true.
And now 3 months later, they have another Prime Day coming.
Yeah, I think I did buy something on a Prime Day too. I think I bought these guys on Prime Day. These are my
Prime Day is not feeling very
my
prime.
new earbuds. Yeah, I don't know.
See, okay.
I bet you anything they still make buco bucks off of things that are normally at the same price that they're going to sell on Prime.
But that's what I was
going
to get at. 90% of the time, these sales aren't actually discounted. Like Black Friday. I remember working Black Friday and realizing, wait, yes, there are a couple things with very deep discounts to get people in the door. Everything else just has a sale sign next to the regular price. And people are ripping it off the shelf because it's on sale at the regular price. Some places will even jack up the price a little bit, and you can get it cheaper on a normal day. That's what I feel about the Prime Day.
Yeah,
They're diluting it. So I don't know.
Amazon does have their like percent discount thing that they always show.
Mm-hmm.
And they use kind of that technique of, saving 38%. Except the thing is, you're always saving 38% because they never charge MSRP.
No.
So
yeah,
I will say that every Prime Day there have been some good deals that genuinely are not available on a regular basis, but you have to hunt for those. And the vast majority of them, while I wouldn't go so far as to say X% are the same as usual, I would say that the vast majority that I've seen are only slightly, or maybe in some cases, not even fully marked down from the standard Amazon price. Obviously, it's down from MSRP. Nobody charges MSRP anymore. Or ever really did.
Well, all I know is Bezos needs to build another space dong, so make sure that you spend all the money that you have to help him fund it.
Please do not.
October 10th and 11th.
Needs some new money for Blue Origin, so he's having an extra Prime Day this year.
Please don't.
Yeah.
Okay, I got one last story. This week there was a leak found. The leak was about Microsoft and their future plans for their Xbox. Huge leak about what they're planning to do for their next console.
Get wet?
It was very wet all over. The leak was everywhere.
Oh wow.
The mops came out, buckets were used. It was a huge leak. I gotta say, it was just a problem.
Poor Stella down in accounting had to go home to get dry clothes.
Yeah,
I'm glad you caught that one, Matt, because until you responded, I had no clue what he was talking about. I was like, it's too late for me, apparently.
So, the thing about this console that they announced that really is interesting to me is that they have announced that their concept for the new console is a hybrid cloud console. The idea behind it is that it is a next generation device that is able to play all the new greatest games and all that, and have a cloud connection to share the load with, depending on the needs of the game, the device you're using, etc. The idea is that if you are on a game and playing that's, everything is played locally, great. It can do it all locally if it needs to, if you got all the hardware. If you're on a lower end device for whatever reason, they even mentioned in this of a $99 consumer handheld device that would be able to connect to with a thin OS to the cloud service, and thus you're playing a pure cloud game at this point. and everything is being played that way. And then there's steps in between where you're going to have parts of the game being rendered in the cloud, maybe background parts or something else has happening. And then you're going to have other parts of it being done locally on computer. And this, I want to say, is exactly what I wanted to do probably 4 or 5 years ago. I said on this show,
Uh-huh.
there should be a device that takes advantage of the local hardware and takes advantage of cloud processing and decide between the two what's the best and
Yeah.
do it.
See, and we've established over the years that I'm completely on board with cloud gaming. Stadia proved it. I was was dubious at first, but once we started using Stadia, and then when Cyberpunk whatever 2077 came out, I was playing it on Stadia at midnight when it launched while everybody else was downloading it
And having problems.
and having problems and bugs. And I am on my graphics card is like 5-6 years old, and it wasn't even a top tier at that time.
No.
But I was playing it at full everything, and it was great. There's that new Skyrim in space movie or game that just came out like a week ago. Starfield. It's Skyrim. It's just reskinned with space stuff.
Okay.
But I mean, I think this is the future. Or I know this is the future. There will always be purists that must have a high spec PC with the game local, but for everybody else, yeah, as long as they're not, you're not getting charged crazy money. Yes, Stadia went away. Luckily, they did the right thing and they refunded everybody that purchased from them. If you're just renting games, no harm, no foul. Then you just find someplace new to rent it. Hopefully, you have a way to locally save your games or save files. But,
I generally sit solidly in the PCMR camp, right?
Sure.
But this is part of the reason is that with a console, you tend to get something that was an amazing device a month or 2 months before it came out. And by the time you can actually buy it, you can usually spend a little bit more money, or actually a whole heck of a lot more money
nowadays
on a PC, and get a much more powerful device and have an overall better gaming experience. And so that's always been the case. Even with the current gen consoles, I have a more powerful PC than a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox, whatever they are now. And it can produce higher quality graphics at a better frame rate, and resolution too. So I would generally be happy with spending the notably larger amount of money to get the better gaming experience. That said, this eliminates that as a concern, or reduces that as a concern, because you don't have to rely as much on that hardware that gets outdated quickly, and you can supplement that and offload enough, hopefully, that now that slightly inferior hardware combined with hybrid cloud can match what you would be paying extra for on a PC.
Yep. I mean, with cloud gaming, you can almost literally use a potato and have a usable experience.
Raspberry Pis. You can use Raspberry Pis.
Absolutely. And I mean, with this, you've got the benefit of Microsoft already has their established Game Pass. And I assume this will be on the same platform. So you'll be able to play the games on your PC and also with this thing, you can go sit on the couch if you want to. Some games are more cinematic and might benefit from having your giant 100-inch space top experience. But
Ooh.
yeah, no. What was the TV we talked about last week?
Oh yeah,
That
yeah,
giant 8K
8K
120-inch
Sony,
8K.
Samsung, right?
Yeah,
Was
yeah,
the
yeah,
8K OLED or
So
something?
maybe
like
you
that?
want to play your Space Skyrim on that TV for a little while
Yeah,
and show off. You can. But
space. I think this is a really cool thing. It's supposed to come out in 2028 is their goal, which means oh goodness, we have many more. We have 4 more years of
one question:
our current thing. What?
will it support Connect?
Ooh, excellent question. I don't know, but then again, they basically dropped the Connect with
They
the.
can always bring it back.
That's true. That's true.
Connect was always a brilliant idea that was just poorly executed.
Well, it just people
and it
didn't
wasn't even that poorly
develop
executed,
for it.
just the content was not there.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is it just wasn't development. They should have a music service, and they can revive the Zune name, because I think Zune makes more sense within a cloud product than it did as a brown brick.
The games that came out for Connect, I will give you some examples of
The
the
rafting
quality
one?
of the quality games that came out for Connect. Because here is Hole in the Wall, if you remember that TV show,
yeah.
for Connect, and Kung Fu Panda 2 for the Connect. These are
dance. What was that dance game?
yeah, those the Just Dance.
Just Dance.
Yeah,
that's
so
it's a really good one, I'm sure.
With our Connect, the games that we found actually fairly enjoyable to play, the dance game and was actually pretty good, and we did enjoy playing that. The other one,
The one that came with it was halfway decent.
Oh yes, that was the other one. The action sports
Connect
or something like that.
Adventures.
Yeah,
Connect
there was that rafting one where you had to raise your hands and go woo.
That was not bad, and then
it had like rock climbing and
a ball game.
Yeah, and there was like a sports one where you played tennis, stuff like that. So there were like, in my opinion, 3 or 4 games that really leveraged it well, and it kind of made sense the way they were doing it. And it actually really enhanced the Just Dance, because like what people were accustomed to up to that point were like floor controller type games where you just stepped. But now this made it to where you would have to like move your arms in the right, like roughly the right motions at the right times and stuff. But we got slightly detoured.
It's okay.
Well, there is no agenda, so there's no detour.
So I think this is a logical step that was inevitable.
2028 is too long to wait.
Wait, it's not coming till 2028?
That's when it's supposed
to
come
out. By that point, what's the point? This is a product we need now.
Yeah.
By the time we get to 2028, Elon Musk will probably have his brain insert thingies perfected.
Neuralink.
And will already be roboted around by the Tesla cars controlled by Skynet satellites. So
no, thank you.
Well, I don't think you're going to have a choice, is my point.
Nope. I have choices. No, thank you.
Choice is an illusion.
So is Elon Musk. I don't believe he actually exists.
Okay, so you don't believe he exists because you don't think that an African American could be the most wealthy guy in the world?
No, that's not what I mean. What I mean is that I think that he
Well,
is.
I put that out there because people will argue the fact that he's an African American. He's literally from Africa, and
Ah.
he became an American. He, by definition, is an African American.
That's very interesting, sir.
I mean that's what
That
that
is
means.
technically correct, and technically correct is always the best kind of correct.
It is hilariously correct. How about that?
Speaking of that, are any of you gonna play Spice Skyrim?
No.
Spice Skyrim?
Space,
Space
Skyrim.
No.
I mean, I don't know.
Okay,
I am
before you
playing
make that
Baldur's Gate 3
decision
right now, so I hesitate to commit to another game that will take a lot of time.
Before you make see, you got to remember that the like Skyrim, people are still playing that game, and
I
all
never played
these
that
years
game.
later. So it's gonna have a long tail. Before you make that decision, all of you listening to this or whatever, check out the Spiffing Brit. Did a video just a couple days ago, looking for bugs and in that game, and it is wonderful because it is basically keeps all the stuff from Skyrim.
Sorry.
Yes, Starfield is a perfectly balanced game with no exploits, bugs, whatever. Which, if you know the Spiffing Brit, it's completely
Full of bugs. And
on point. And within the first couple minutes, yep, all the stuff that he had figured out in Skyrim is still there. It's just space now, and it's awesome. But as I was telling Matt, I was very happy to see Rihanna Keeves made it into space. And that will make sense to anybody else that is familiar with the Spiffing Brit. Should we get on to some rants and some raves?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, rants and raves. Last week we decided, after a little bit of discussion, we would watch Twisted Metal. Now, it's been very firmly ingrained in everybody over the years that adaptations of video games are bad. I would like to start this off and say I think they finally did something right.
So I haven't watched all of it. I've tried to watch it as much as I could. 2 nights ago, I got to watch 2 episodes. But I ended up falling asleep, so I didn't actually get to watch anymore. But I think the first 2 episodes was enough for me to have a good feeling of what this show is all about. Although I may be wrong.
But is that good feeling a good feeling?
This movie is pure guns, cars, and gags.
So it's perfect.
And if that's what you want, it's great.
Yeah, if you're looking for Yellowstone, yeah, that'll be back in another couple weeks. The same for you. If you like cool stuff and having fun, Twisted Metal is amazing.
So the very first scene is a car chase inside of a mall.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the very first things that happens is that he hits a display
At
and a cardboard box of the game Twisted Metal lands on his windshield, which he looks at briefly and then uses his windshield wipers to wipe off of his windshield.
Yes.
Which immediately says to yourself, yes, we're going to be having fun here. We know.
See, when it comes to PlayStation commercials for PlayStation games, they did this one way better than they did Gran Turismo.
Mm.
Which I just now realized that. Um, yeah, Mike, how far did you get?
I got through 3 episodes.
Okay.
I think the Falcon is very good in this. And I think that it captures the feel of the video game very well. The second episode introduces probably the single most recognizable character of all Twisted Metal, which is the clown dude.
Sweet
Sweet
Tooth.
Tooth.
So yeah,
And
I mean, once I saw that at the end of the first episode, I was like, okay, this is going to be a crazy fun ride. Which I mean, you kind of had that idea up to that point, but that really sealed it. And then the subsequent 2 episodes really lived up to that. I am really enjoying it. It's a very weird show. I don't know if I would recommend it to certain people. It would be a small subset of my normal. Yes, I would recommend this. I would recommend this to a small subset of people, and I think that small subset of people would absolutely love it. Maybe not the vast majority, but the majority of people is probably not going to appeal to them too much. But it was fun.
so
Great fun.
I gotta say, you bring up Sweet Tooth. So Sweet Tooth, the physical person, is played by Samoa Joe,
Awesome.
the wrestler. And then the voice is what's his name from
Will Arnett, I believe.
yeah, Will Arnett. Which I think completely, and they together are perfect.
Samoa
And-
Joe's performance, physical performance, is surprisingly amazing. He physically embodies both this buffoon of a character and this menacing monster of a character at the same time in an amazing way. It's a really great job of acting. Bravo to him for his amazing pantomiming, basically, because he's not allowed to. And the mask is really, I mean, if they got the mask wrong, it'd be bad. And they did. The mask is excellent, but then Will Arnett on top of that, and his voice and his acting is also excellent. It's very good. It's very wonderful to hear. Believe it or not, he's not as scary as a character as you think he might be. I mean, he's
Hey,
scary.
no spoilers. That dude
Sorry.
is a brutal killer, and that's all you
Hooked
need
on-
to know.
Hooked on Skittles, right? Oh man, give me the Skittles.
Why do you think they call him Sweet Tooth?
I know.
I will say the amount of people that show up that you recognize is great. This is, in my opinion, is the single greatest thing that Anthony Mackie has ever done. Wait till you get to the end of the entire series before you agree with me. And it was weird seeing Neve Campbell again.
Oh, she's not back yet.
Well, she was in another movie that we watched, or I watched recently as a cameo, and went, huh, wait, I haven't seen her since like the 90s. And then, yeah. But Stephanie Beatrice, I absolutely love her in pretty much everything. For those of you that don't know who she is, she played Quiet in this show. Most people would know her from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Wow, I totally didn't recognize Neve Campbell. You do see her in the first episode.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't.
She's the mayor lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't recognize her because she's old now. You just remember her as the teenager from Scream or Wild Things, depending on where your predilections lie.
Scream for me.
Smarmy Kevin Bacon with naked 20 something pretending to be 18-year-olds. Yeah, Wild Things. Hey, maybe we should rewatch Wild Things. No, thank you. Don't make me do that.
Okay, we won't. I
So
promise.
just we'll wrap this up properly. We haven't really done this in the last couple weeks.
Sure.
What did you like about this show?
So I like that it knows its own what its sense of humor is. I love the fact that it knows what it's trying to do, and is not afraid to do it. It pulls no punches in where it goes, as far as I've seen, and it's not trying to be, super realistic in any super way. It's pulpy and fun, and that's what it should be at this point. If you've ever, the game is basically, hey, let's wreck cars with my cars, with people with interesting characters as drivers. That's what the show is, as far as I could tell. Let's drive race cars and blow up things with cool cars with interesting drivers. That's perfect. Tell a good story and you're good. Oh, and blow something up every once in a while.
Yeah.
Mike?
Yeah. I think, it's really about the characters. And it is worth noting that the cars are characters.
Oh, absolutely. Cars are always characters.
Yeah.
Cars are usually my favorite character in any
what's his cars? Caroline, was it? I think it's
yeah.
Caroline.
I think that's right.
No, it's
it's starts with an A.
Yeah. But it's because of the license. Oh, never mind. But I will say that number one, this show is funny. It's smart, and it's action packed, and at the same time, it's surprisingly wholesome. You as you get into the storylines, you'll see why I say that. At the same time, it also kind of acts as kind of a criticism of like societal class. I don't know. I just think it's wonderful.
Standard trope for futuristic movies is that there's a class. There's a class.
Always.
Issues.
I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's. But it looks beautiful. For as ugly as that world is, it looked wonderful. All the action scenes were, I would say, realistic-ish. Like, as in, like, physics actually apply.
Right.
I didn't really see anything that was blatant. Oh, God. Okay.
I mean, the stormtrooper aim was worth considering. I mean,
I will say one of my new favorite actors is in this. He was one of the guards at the dam, the one that they kind of tricked to get out of there. He's a big dude with a beard. He's been in a bunch of stuff, and I absolutely love him in everything I have seen. One of these days I will learn his name. He's great. But yeah, there's so much to love about this show. Now, I can't think of anything I disliked. Well, I kind of disliked the way they ended it, but I can't really talk about that until people have watched it. What do you guys, anything that you didn't like?
Oh, sure. I didn't like the fact that this is the show I cannot share with my family.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you could.
I agree with you on
interested.
There's a lot of language. The violence is pretty.
Like I said, you could.
There's a great joke about.
There's no rule that says you can't, but you probably shouldn't.
There's a great joke in the first episode about how good the windshield wipers are. Come on.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. That certainly stands up there. I mean, obviously, there's the stormtrooper aim. You've got to technical 50 cal shooting at your vehicle, and it literally doesn't hit it once.
Well, okay. If you're shooting a 50 cal, you're lucky if you hit anything once. Those kind of guns and anything that's automatic is meant for suppressive fire, not actually hitting stuff.
Vehicles are big enough to hit.
But
Well, these are video games, especially early video games. They don't show damage.
Right. Yes. I mean,
I don't know.
that's really what it comes down to. I honestly, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. It is something that occurred to me in that initial sequence that Clyde was talking about. But that said, it's totally fine to ignore that plot armor or whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it. Like it's fine. Who cares?
oh, and
It's
trust
fun.
me,
Enjoy it.
they deal with that very well as this season goes on.
Yeah.
They're I don't want to say there are no sacred cows, but yeah, stuff happens, and it's pretty awesome. Oh, and for the record, Mike Mitchell is the dude.
Oh.
And I first kind of noticed him in the or the Netflix show Love, which was really funny. And he was one of the main side characters. But all right, I think. Anything else before we move on?
No.
No?
If you're into cars and guns and glory and not afraid of a little language and blood, this is probably a really good.
If you like Anthony Mackie and wish that they put him in a decent role for once, this is a show for you. Because this is Anthony Mackie all the time.
This is fun, Anthony Mackie. I have to say, he's having a good time. You
Yeah.
can tell when he's playing. He is actually having a very good time in this show.
Absolutely. Even when he's not having a good time, you can tell he's having a good time.
The actor is having a good time acting, even though he's acting as if he's really having a bad time. You can tell the actor behind it is like really grinning from ear to ear behind that fake not smile face. He's having a good time.
Alrighty.
He smiles with his eyes.
Hey, I just realized we can use these things to talk about. I don't have a game. Is there anything we want to talk about before we wrap things up? Because we're at an hour right now.
Nah,
We've
I'm
got
good.
plenty of time.
Yeah, let's wrap it.
I'm good.
Okay.
I don't have anything else to talk about, so
I'll come back and say, hey, thanks. We're gonna call it. Give you back some time. All right. I hate when people say that. We'll just call this meeting. I'll give you back some time. Yeah, you're not giving me back time. I still got to go to the next meeting in 15 minutes. All right. Well, I guess, all right. We'll just we can probably wrap things up. We can end this meeting early and give you all back some time, right?
You're welcome, viewer. Just what you wanted, right?
We could sit here for the next 5 minutes and just laugh.
But then you're taking their time.
People are gonna drive across the
If
median
they haven't already hit the
on
skip button by this point,
unsubscribe.
we really appreciate your watching our show.
Oh, hey, oh no, we need to discuss something before we go.
Okay.
What are we watching for next week?
Ooh, excellent question.
I just noticed what is coming out tomorrow.
Okay.
The Continental,
Continental.
which is the TV spinoff of the John Wick universe.
Oh, okay. I've never seen those movies.
I don't think you need to.
Okay.
Because this is about the hotel, not
Mm-hmm.
his. Because John Wick was all about his vendetta, and you learned about the world through his vendetta.
Yeah.
This show
You'll
is
miss-
about the hotel So it's about the world specifically
Yeah.
and
You'll
the
miss a
place it
little bit of the
facilitates.
lore from the shows,
Yeah.
and it is interesting. And if you like action movies, they are really, really good.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
but you're
everybody
right.
talks about that.
This fits into that same category as Twisted Metal. It's not family friendly at all.
But we don't know. I haven't seen a trailer or anything from the Continental yet.
No, I mean the John Wick stuff.
Yeah.
general.
And that's why I'm saying the Continental might be something that's more accessible.
Right.
No.
Well, since it's coming out next week, it would be really good for us to watch it and get.
Or it's coming
get
out
an episode
tomorrow.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, before next week's episode, this would be good if we wanted to do that.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. And that's what I was thinking. I'm actually, because I'm not a big fan of the John Wick movies.
Well,
But
that's why everybody likes it.
Yeah. I mean,
they're really
I don't
good.
hate it.
Everybody, rule of Clyde.
I think the I think the action is good. I think Keanu Reeves plays a perfectly good character. I had issues with the motivation, especially when you got to the end of the last one and you realize all that damage and carnage was for nothing. Absolutely nothing. And that's when I was mad.
Okay.
But yeah, the Continental, we can do that next week.
Sure. I think that's an excellent choice.
Not to be confused with the Continental from Saturday Night Live.
Oh, should we watch that as well?
No,
So-
well, you can watch those skits, I guess.
We do continental breakfast before next week and come back and give feedback as to what we thought.
Problem with continental breakfast is that's usually got a bagel and
Yeah.
cereal and a yogurt.
I generally feel like it's lacking in the savory department.
Maybe something that's warm, but it's usually like reheated eggs and reheated sausages.
So
Yeah.
do we need to well, I mean, if we're gonna watch a Continental, we may as well show up in a bathrobe with champagne like Christopher Walken in the sketches.
Somebody, I'll elect you to do that. You may play the part of Christopher Walken next week if you wish, sir.
Okay. We'll see. All right. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us this week, and we will catch you all at our normal time again next week. Bye.
Bye.